The flickering torchlight danced across his face, highlighting the sharp angles of youth. He was a vision of grace and power, with eyes the color of rich earth and hair as dark as a raven's wing. His movements were fluid as he spun, the firelight glinting off the polished surface of his sword. Each swing was a whisper of death, a promise of the warrior that lay beneath the surface of the dancer. He moved with the grace of a seasoned performer, his body a blur of motion. The crowd gasped as he twirled, the tip of his blade coming within a hair's breadth of his exposed skin. But he never faltered, his confidence never wavering as he continued his mesmerizing dance. The air crackled with anticipation. His name, whispered on the wind, was Kaelen, and tonight he danced for their amusement. Little did they know, he would soon be dancing for their lives. The townspeople watched with bated breath, their faces illuminated by the dancing flames and the sheer talent unfolding before them. A collective gasp rippled through the square as Kaelen leapt, his body a graceful arc against the dying light. He moved with a precision that belied his youth, each movement as calculated as it was captivating. Mothers held their children close, whispering tales of heroes past. Young women giggled behind their hands, their eyes sparkling with admiration. Even the burly blacksmith, a man known for his stoicism, cracked a rare smile. Kaelen's dance was more than just entertainment. It was a spectacle, a display of skill and artistry that ignited something akin to hope in the hearts of all who watched. A hush fell over the crowd as the music reached its crescendo. Kaelen, his brow slicked with perspiration, prepared for the final act of his performance. This was the moment they had all been waiting for, the moment where he would demonstrate why he was the most celebrated swordsman in the land. A guttural roar like thunder splitting the earth shattered the night. The crowd froze, their cheers dying in their throats as a monstrous shadow blotted out the moon. Fear, primal and instinctive, seized the heart of every man, woman, and child in the square. The air grew heavy, thick with the stench of sulfur and decay. 9 heads, each more grotesque than the last, rose above the tree line, their eyes burning with malevolent intent. Razor-sharp claws, easily the size of a man, scraped against the cobblestones, sending sparks flying. The dragon, a creature of myth and nightmare, had come to their village, and it was hungry. Screams pierced the night as the villagers scattered, their previous awe replaced with raw terror. Mothers clutched their children and ran, their eyes wide with fear. Strong men stumbled, their faces pale and drawn. The dragon, its 9 heads weaving back and forth, seemed to savor their fear. Section 4. A Hero's Resolve. Kaelen stood his ground. He met the dragon's gaze, his own expression hardening with resolve. Fear, though present, did not control him. He had trained for this, honed his skills for the day he might face a threat worthy of his steel. And this, he knew, was such a day. He would face this terror not just as a swordsman, but as a protector, a shield between his people and the darkness that threatened to consume them. He took a deep breath, centering himself, and drew his sword. The steel sang as it left its scabbard, the sound a beacon of defiance in the face of unimaginable terror. Kaelen pointed his blade at the monstrous creature, his stance unwavering. The crowd, seeking solace in their hero's courage, slowly began to re-emerge from their hiding places. The dragon, sensing a challenge, focused its attention on the lone figure standing before it. A guttural growl rumbled deep within its chest, shaking the very foundations of the village. Kaelen held his ground, the firelight reflecting in his eyes, turning them into pools of molten gold. The battle was about to begin. Section 5. Triumph and Tears. 3 hours. An eternity etched in blood and fire. Kaelen fought with the fury of a cornered wolf, his every move a testament to years of relentless training. The dragon, wounded but not broken, thrashed and roared, its 9 heads lashing out with venomous fangs and fiery breath. The air grew thick with the coppery tang of blood and the acrid stench of burnt flesh. Finally, with a roar that tore at the heavens, the dragon faltered. It crashed to the ground, its massive body shaking the earth one last time. Kaelen, battered and bruised but alive, watched as the light faded from the creature's eyes. Silence descended upon the village, heavy and absolute. Then a cheer, hesitant at first, then deafening in its intensity, erupted from the crowd. They surged forward, their faces awash in relief and gratitude. Kaelen, their hero, their savior, had vanquished the beast. He had faced death and emerged victorious. He had saved them all. Section 6. Crown of Valor. An old woman, her eyes brimming with tears, emerged from the crowd. She held aloft a crown, crafted from gold and precious gems, a symbol of their gratitude and their hope for the future. She placed it upon Kaelen's head, her voice trembling with emotion as she spoke. "Our king," she whispered, her words echoing the sentiments of everyone present. "Our king!" Kaelen looked out at the faces of his people, their features etched with relief, their eyes shining with admiration and newfound hope. He had danced for them, fought for them, and now he would rule them. He swore to protect them, to lead them with wisdom and compassion. He would be the king they deserved, a king worthy of the sacrifices that had been made, a king who understood the true meaning of courage and sacrifice. As the sun rose, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, a new era dawned upon the village, an era of peace and prosperity, guided by the steady hand of their king, the once and future swordsman Kaelen.